You ended a relationship, or you have friends who don't give you the importance you deserve. Today you will learn to play with their brain to such an extent that they will regret not having valued you enough. But before we start, let's do a little exercise. Understand why you are so hurt. Why has his decision affected you so much? The feeling of feeling destroyed and incomplete in the absence or lack of recognition from a being you hold in high esteem can be a manifestation of emotional interdependence. This interdependence often originates from the unconscious belief that our integrity and worth as individuals is inextricably linked to the presence and approval of another person. Before meeting this significant person, one already possessed a complete and autonomous identity. However, the tendency to seek external validation can lead to emotional dependence, where the sense of self-worth is affected by the actions and opinions of others. Such dependence can result in vulnerability, where the decisions of another can trigger an identity crisis, leading to questioning one's own worth and existence without that person. The French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre stated that we are not what others make of us, but what we ourselves make of what others have made of us. Although the actions of others may influence us, the ultimate responsibility for our self-conception lies with ourselves. Accepting negative emotions is a crucial step in the psychological healing process. Denial of feelings can lead to emotional stagnation, while facing and processing these emotions can facilitate a faster and healthier recovery. By embracing our emotions and reflecting on our inherent worth, we can overcome adversity and continue our journey to emotional well-being and authenticity. Well, once you recognize and embrace the fact that he doesn't care about you anymore, we can start with these tools to make those who didn't value you despair. In addition, I have a surprise for the women in the video, where they will learn to control the man in a hyper-mega effective way, and they will be able to use it comfortably since it is very easy to do so, or failing that, if you are a man, you can avoid being controlled with precisely what I'm telling you. Okay, so today you'll have everything you're looking for in one video. Just get comfortable, pay close attention, and let's get started. Action number 1. Value yourself. In the pursuit of Stoic serenity, it is essential to recognize the importance of freeing oneself from the need for sentimental validation. Often, there is a tendency to seek approval from those who do not value us, a pernicious cycle that must be interrupted. Consider the case of a former colleague who, with the intention of probing my emotions, inquires about the possibility of a return. This behavior is nothing more than a manifestation of the search for sentimental confirmation. Such an individual demonstrated loyalty to other colleagues who were closer to the boss. He believed that he could climb there, and he was disloyal to me by moving away from me, making me not exist, and not accompanying me in my greyest days. For me, he had ceased to be a friend. Although he does not share my life now, a more resilient one, with a more brusque attitude in the context that I seek to get what I want and I am getting it, he feels compelled to verify if he still occupies a space in my emotional world. It is an attitude that reveals not only a desire for validation, but also a lack of appreciation for the other. People will come and want to come back after abandoning you, but that's where you'll show that you don't care. Those people just wonder, how much do you miss me? Or, what would you be willing to do for me? Examples that this pursuit of assurance is only to keep you faithful to a person who isn't with you. In front of an ex-partner, it is crucial not to offer that security. The expectation that one will remain a loyal admirer, even after separation, is a presumption that must be challenged. Instead of giving in to the temptation to confirm those feelings, one should stand firm on their path to emotional self-reliance. True strength lies in the ability to remain unperturbed by such inquiries and in the search for an internal balance that does not depend on external validation. Action number 2. Improve your physical image. It is essential to recognize that progress in one's life can manifest itself in a variety of ways, and this advancement can significantly influence all aspects of our existence. What do I mean by this? From improving fitness to enriching one's social circle, every step forward reflects a seized opportunity. For the Stoic, these improvements are not merely external, but are indicative of an internal and conscious development. From a psychological perspective, improving physically can be a form of self-care and personal empowerment that indirectly could generate regret in someone who did not value you at the time. This external change may be a reflection of internal growth and increased self-esteem, which can lead the person to reevaluate their own worth and the relationships they choose to maintain. However, it is important to emphasize that the primary goal of any personal change should be individual well-being and satisfaction, not the search for validation or influencing the emotions of others. Stoicism suggests that focusing on one's own development and building a positive self-image is more beneficial in the long run than seeking external approval. In addition, it is essential to recognize that each individual is responsible for their own emotions and reactions, and you cannot control how others will feel or act in the face of changes in yourself. Ultimately, regret is an emotional response that belongs to the other person and should not be the focus of the actions of someone who seeks to grow and improve themselves. Therefore, any positive change should be a reflection of a commitment to self-improvement and personal integrity, rather than a search for external validation or a reaction to the perceptions of others. Ultimately, the Stoic focuses on his own progress and development, maintaining a balanced and virtue-focused perspective without being influenced by fluctuations in fortune or the opinion of others. Action number 3. Enjoy your single life. There is no deeper longing in my heart than the sight of your misery in the solitude of its absence. You may be familiar with that feeling, the same one you've experienced with past partners, offering them your best wishes while in secret, harboring the desire for them to shed tears for not having you around. That emotion envelops you in a warm embrace of need, making you feel important and loved. However, it is essential that you do not grant him the pleasure of seeing you longing now. That attitude only reflects an air of desperation. With his departure from your life, the vast horizon of possibilities that you always dreamed of exploring opens up before you, without the need to seek his approval or company. It's time to embark on adventures you didn't consider before, to immerse yourself in festivities that fill you with joy, to allow yourself to lose your sanity from time to time. It is your opportunity to live fully, to embrace each experience with the intensity it deserves. And is there a sweeter revenge than the image of you, enjoying life to the fullest while he watches from a distance? There is no better revenge than one's own happiness, which becomes the mirror where the lost opportunities of those who no longer walk by our side are reflected. Action number 4. Try new and exciting things. Think, ended, or those friends who no longer give you the same value, begin to see that you no longer care what they think of you, and you focus on things that make you happy. You don't think about them anymore. Obviously, they will be frustrated. Now I tell you, don't you think that painting has always been a latent passion in you? A silent desire that never found the right time to bloom. Now, as you navigate a sea of diverse and deep emotions, it might be the perfect time to channel those feelings onto canvas. Painting is not just an act of creation, but a form of communication without words, where each brushstroke can represent a whisper or a cry of your soul. Being single, you have the luxury of time, that elusive resource that you can now dedicate entirely to perfecting your artistic technique. Spend hours studying light, shadow, composition and color palette, and watch each element come together to tell a visually captivating story. When you're ready, share your creations with the world online. Online platforms are global stages where art finds its audience and where your masterpieces can shine. Imagine the satisfaction of receiving praise from strangers and acquaintances alike, recognizing the talent you have cultivated with so much effort. It is possible that those who once knew you only superficially will begin to see the depths of your being, and maybe, just maybe, someone may regret not having fully appreciated the magnitude of your creative spirit. However, it's crucial to remember that your journey in art should be by and for you. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, art is man's highest activity, the highest expression of his joy, the highest manifestation of his freedom. And of course, art is just a metaphor. Change the word art or painting or drawing for something else that you are passionate about, such as the gym, sports, calisthenics, doing social work, among many other things that interest you and keep you nutritionally entertained. Let your artistic practice be a path to self-discovery and self-expression. Don't seek external validation, but the internal satisfaction of knowing that you are living an authentic life, exploring your potential, and leaving an indelible mark on the world through your art. Action number 5. Be friendly but limit contact. Maintaining a cordial relationship with someone, even after the paths have separated, is an art that reflects maturity and understanding. If you meet that person, it is advisable to adopt a friendly attitude. Greet him warmly, ask him about his well-being, and briefly share your own positive experiences. Not only does this behavior demonstrate your personal growth, but it can also be a balm for old wounds, allowing both of you to move forward in your lives with mutual respect. When interacting, it is prudent to maintain a healthy emotional distance. Limit interaction to casual encounters and superficial conversations. At social events, a polite greeting is enough. Then, continue to enjoy the company of other guests. If a funny anecdote comes up, laugh naturally, but don't exaggerate to get attention. These subtle yet meaningful actions communicate your well-being and autonomy. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, "The maturity of man is to have rediscovered the seriousness with which he played as a child." The idea that in maturing, one should embrace life with the same passion and sincerity as in childhood, but with the wisdom and perspective that experience provides. By applying this principle to interpersonal relationships, you can interact with others in an authentic and respectful way, maintaining an emotional distance that favors individual growth and collective harmony. Action number 6. Activate his hero instinct. Do you want that person to recognize the value you have brought to their life and what they are missing now? I know you do, so let me offer you an enriched perspective that will not only spark your emotions, but also make you appreciate the magnificent woman you have left behind. This action may be directed primarily at the man. That is, what we have here is a very powerful tool that women can use to control the situation, yet the man can use it in reverse. And what is it about? Well, the key lies in appealing to his intrinsic nature, to that heroic impulse that every man carries within. This concept, known as the hero instinct, was introduced by renowned relationship expert James Bauer. It is based on the idea that men are genetically programmed to respond to certain stimuli in relationships, something that many women are unaware of. By activating these stimuli, men become the heroes of their own narrative. They experience a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment, love more intensely, and commit themselves more fervently when they find someone who knows how to ignite that heroic spark. You may ask, why is it called hero instinct? Do men need to feel like superheroes to make a genuine commitment to a woman? The answer is simpler than it seems. You don't need to emulate Marvel characters or take on the role of a damsel in distress to capture their attention. The truth is that this process does not require great sacrifices or dramatic gestures on your part. With subtle tweaks to your interaction with him, you'll be able to access a facet of his being that remained unexplored. According to Bauer, this instinct can be activated to improve love relationships and strengthen the bond between couples. To use the hero instinct, it's important to ask for help from your partner with tasks both big and small, allowing men to feel useful and valued. Additionally, it is crucial to express appreciation and gratitude for their contribution and protection, which in turn can increase their trust and connection to the relationship. Open and direct communication about needs and wants also plays an important role, as it allows the couple to understand how they can be supportive. Allowing the partner to protect and care is also part of activating this instinct, as it reinforces their protective role and desire for commitment. Every man is different, and what triggers his hero instinct can vary, so it's important to get to know the partner and understand what specific actions trigger this instinct in them. The essence of the hero instinct lies in its simplicity and effectiveness. It's about communicating the right words that make them realize that you're the person they really want and need. It's the most effective strategy to make him see how much he misses you. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can endure almost any how." In the context of relationships, this means that when a man finds the reason why he wants to commit, he will overcome any obstacle to being with that special someone. And you can be that reason that inspires him to reach his full potential as a companion and hero in his own life. This is a way to help you fan that flame that is not yet extinguished. Action number 7, stoke jealousy. Continuing with the plan to make those people feel bad for not valuing you, we have the typical make them jealous or jealous. From a psychological perspective, The behavior of seeking and showing a new relationship after a breakup can be interpreted as a strategy to provoke reactions in the ex-partner. Or it even works with friends. If you start dating a new group of friends, you look happy, complimented, and you no longer need those people who moved away, you will see how they will return, and they will feel desperate when you do not open the doors of your life to them again. This behavior can be seen as an attempt to assert one's own worth and ability to move forward, which could lead to feelings of jealousy and possibly regret over the separation in the ex-partner or former friends. Finding a new partner to date and have fun with can be a tactic to capture the attention of those people who didn't value you, suggesting that the loss hasn't been as significant and that the person is able to find substitutes easily. This act can be perceived as a demonstration of strength or dominance, similar to alpha behaviors observed in nature, where the ex-partner is ignored and the emphasis is placed on the new relationship. Posting images with a new partner or friends on social media can intensify these effects, as the public visibility of these images can increase the perception of replacement and move forward. This can lead the ex-partner to question themselves about the new relationship and their own value in comparison, which could trigger a process of self-reflection and possibly a desire to reconnect. However, it is important to consider that these tactics can have different interpretations and effects depending on the individual dynamics of the relationship and the personalities involved. Additionally, these types of strategies may not be healthy for all parties, as it can foster a cycle of reactive behaviors and negative emotions rather than constructive resolution and personal growth after a breakup. Action number 8. Take your career seriously. Freedom from emotional ties can provide fertile ground for personal and professional growth. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can endure almost any how." This resonates with the idea that, by breaking free from emotional chains, one can find a deeper purpose and pursue it with tenacity. When one sheds emotional distractions, a renewed focus on personal aspirations can emerge. Singleness, for example, is often seen as a state of freedom that allows a person to explore their true desires and ambitions without the complications that can arise from relationships. This state can be a catalyst for introspection and self-exploration, leading the person to consider paths that previously seemed unattainable or impractical, such as starting a business of their own or pursuing writing or art. The realization of these dreams, however, should not be an escape from reality or a distraction from loneliness, but a genuine expression of the inner self. It is an act of courage and authenticity, where one commits to one's passion and works towards it with diligence and dedication. In this process, the person becomes the architect of his or her destiny, shaping his or her life not by external expectations or recognition, but by an internal drive toward personal fulfillment. On this path to self-actualization, it is crucial not to seek external validation. Credit for accomplishments should reside within the individual, recognizing that each step taken is a reflection of their effort and dedication. In the end, as Nietzsche said, we are forging our own path, and it is this inner journey that defines us and gives meaning to our lives. Thus, by embracing solitude and channeling it towards our professional and personal goals, we not only transform ourselves, but we can also leave a lasting mark on the world around us. Action number 9. Invite your friends to a get-together. Social interaction and group dynamics play a crucial role in how people process their emotions and perceptions, especially after a breakup. When spending time with an ex-partner's friends, a complex network of psychological processes is activated. By sharing pleasant moments with your friends, you create a positive narrative about yourself, which will likely be communicated to the ex-partner or bad friends who didn't give you the value you deserve. This can generate a sense of loss or nostalgia in them when remembering the good times shared. However, it is important to consider the ethics of such actions. Although it may seem like an effective strategy to influence the perception of the ex-partner, it can also be interpreted as manipulative. And it is that what is done for love always happens beyond good and evil. This quote highlights the complexity of actions motivated by love and emotions, suggesting that they can transcend conventional moral norms. The affirmation that one is okay, even when it is not the case, is a form of self-presentation that seeks to influence the image that others have of us. It is a self-affirmation tactic that can be both a form of self-protection and a strategy to provoke curiosity or interest in the ex-partner. Ultimately, this power play can have a variety of consequences, both for the person using it and for their ex-partner. It can be a tool for personal growth and emotional recovery, or it can become a cycle of psychological games that prevent closure and healing. Therefore, it is crucial to reflect on the motivations behind these actions and consider whether they contribute to long-term emotional well-being or if they simply perpetuate harmful patterns of behavior. Action number 10. Moving forward. Self-improvement after a separation is an introspective journey that requires recognizing and accepting the complexity of our emotions and experiences. Leaving a significant person behind is not merely an act of forgetting, but a conscious process of re-evaluating one's own life and reconstructing one's individual identity. It is a gradual path, where each step forward is an affirmation of one's own worth and a refusal to be defined by the presence or absence of another. In this process, it's natural to seek comfort in activities that bring us comfort, such as taking refuge in the solitude of our bedroom, enjoying foods that comfort us, or immersing ourselves in movies that evoke feelings of security and familiarity. These moments of indulgence should not be seen as weaknesses, but as essential parts of a healing process that is as unique as each individual. Allowing yourself to live these experiences without guilt is to recognize that healing is not linear and that each emotion has its place and time. Moving forward involves an active acceptance of the present reality and a commitment to personal growth. It is not about erasing the past, but about integrating it into a larger personal narrative that includes both losses and lessons learned. It is an exercise in introspection where one learns to value one's own company and to find satisfaction in autonomy. As the German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer said, "Fate mixes up the cards and we play them." This metaphor illustrates the random nature of life and the importance of personal agency in responding to the circumstances presented to us. In the game of life, every decision and action taken after a loss is an opportunity to shape the future and reaffirm commitment to oneself and the path to self-improvement. Action number 11. Love yourself. If he's not going to love you, do you know who should? You. The first person to choose you should be yourself. However, loving yourself can be harder than simply telling yourself that you love yourself. Those memories of the past that haunt you, the actions you wish you hadn't done, or the words you wish you hadn't said. Loving yourself requires accepting these things and forgiving them, as if you were comforting and forgiving an old and close friend. Don't keep beating yourself up for not being good enough for him. Remember, if he didn't choose you, that's his problem. Loving yourself makes you stronger. Self-love is a psychological odyssey that involves deep self-knowledge and acceptance. It is not simply an act of affirmation, but an ongoing process of introspection and reconciliation with oneself. Painful memories and past actions can become chains that bind us, preventing progress towards self-acceptance. By forgiving ourselves as we would with a dear friend, we free ourselves from destructive self-criticism and allow ourselves to grow. The strength that comes from self-love is not armor against rejection, but rather a solid foundation from which we can face life with resilience. In the end, the choice to be with someone or not should emanate from a place of personal fulfillment, not necessity. True happiness comes from inner peace, and often in achieving it, we discover that the presence or absence of another person does not define our worth or our joy. Self-love is therefore the revolutionary act of affirming that we are sufficient by ourselves, and in that sufficiency, we find our greatest revenge against those who did not know how to value us. Amate, because you really are awesome. Well, for more tips like this, you just have to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. If you have someone you know who needs these tips, share this video to help them. You can contribute to the Stoic family continuing to grow by liking the video as well. That's all for today. See you in the next Stoic intervention.